Thanks for watching the Louie File. I want to share with you a few verses in John, the Gospel of John, chapter 10 today. And then we're going to look over in 2 Corinthians chapter 4. Alright, so we're just going to jump right in. John 10, verse 17 and 18. Jesus is speaking here. Look at this. He says, "For this reason the Father loves me, because I lay down my life, so that I may take it again. No one has taken it away from me, but I lay it down on my own initiative. I have authority to lay it down, and I have authority to take it up again. This commandment I received from my Father." Wow. Wow. So he has authority to lay it down, he has authority to take it up again, and that's a direct command from his Father. But the part I thought was interesting when it says, "This is the reason the Father loves me, because I lay it down, and that I might take it again." I might take it back up again. Wow. So jump now over with me to 2 Corinthians 4, starting in verse 7. It says, "But we have this treasure in earthen vessels, so that the surpassing greatness of the power will be of God and not from ourselves. We are afflicted in every way, but not crushed, perplexed, but not despairing, persecuted, but not forsaken, struck down, but not destroyed." Look at this, 2 Corinthians 4:10, "Always carrying about in the body the dying of Jesus, so that the life of Jesus also may be manifested in our body. For we who live are constantly being delivered over to death for Jesus' sake, so that the life of Jesus also may be manifested in our mortal flesh. So death works in us, but life in you." Wow. So Jesus said, for this reason, the Father loved him, because he laid down his life to pick it back up again. Wow. And then over here in 2 Corinthians 4, the Apostle Paul is saying that we who live are constantly being delivered over to death for Jesus' sake, so that the life of Jesus may be manifested also. Delivered over to death for Jesus' sake, so that the life of Jesus may also be manifested in our mortal flesh. So death works in us, but life in you. Oh my gosh. So this is a dying and rising process that is continuous within God, who God is and what His Spirit is all about. It's about pouring out His life for others, and the way that happens is there's a dying, a death has to take place, a death to self-seeking, a death to self-exaltation, a death to self-importance. I mean, Jesus, Lord of Lords, Son of the Most High God. Wow. Sinless man, our high priest forever. He didn't consider being all that worth holding on to it. But he humbled himself. He even went to the point of death on a cross, the worst possible death there is. He went all the way for it, all the way with it, all the way for us, knowing by faith that he was going to be raised back by his Father. He gave it up and he took it back up. He laid it down, he took it back up. And that's what he's doing in us. So this explains a lot as to why some Christians, and I may be one of those, may be having such a struggle, because we're always seeking to preserve ourselves. We're exalting ourselves. We're trying to make a name for ourselves. We're bumping heads with other believers, trying to determine who's the most anointed, who's got the biggest crowd, who sells the most books. And Jesus, as far as we know, never wrote anything other than the little thing he wrote on the ground that day when the woman caught in adultery was brought to him. He didn't leave a library of books behind that he wrote. He didn't sell out crowds. I mean, he had big crowds, and obviously the Bible we believe is the Word of God, but I mean, you know what I'm saying. It's not the human. Jesus didn't do all that. He was just a lowly carpenter. In fact, in Isaiah it says there was nothing about him that would attract anyone to him. He was a common man living in a little place called Nazareth, and people couldn't get past it. They couldn't get past it at all. You know, to leave our mark in God's kingdom may not involve leaving our mark in the earth kingdom. The things that grab the headlines of the world and the world system won't be getting that much attention in heaven. And the things that we overlook, the people we overlook now in the earth realm, are going to be the stars on the front page of the magazines and the newspapers in the new heavenly Jerusalem one day. So I just thought I would point this out a little bit. You know, we go through a lot of stuff in this life, but God offers us rest on the inside. We go through a lot of things that seems to be killing our pride, our ego, you know, our reputation sometimes, but God resurrects us on the inside. He gives us hope and meaning and contentment in our spirit, even when all looks awful and doomed on the outside. So, you know, at the end of that passage in 2 Corinthians, the Apostle Paul says all of these things, these temporary things, are working for us an eternal weight of glory. The present sufferings are working for us an eternal weight of glory. And the idea is that we learn to walk and see not what is seen but what is unseen. He says we learn to walk after what is eternal. What is seen is temporary, and what is unseen is eternal. So we learn to walk that way only by the assaults that we have in the seen and the physical realm. Those things work for us that are walking after the Spirit. And though it looks like a dying, it may feel like a dying, it's actually the only thing that's going to lead to a rising, to a resurrected life, to the life of Christ being manifest in our mortal flesh. That's so great. I just pray that God would give you eyes to see this today, and that He would keep us to see it and understand it, and that we would learn to walk by faith and not by sight, and that He would prosper us even as our soul prospers. He wants the inner man to be renewed day by day, even though outwardly we're wasting away. All right, I hope this helps you today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you the next time on the Louie File.